Baltimore Stadium went dark, but the shockwaves are still paralyzing the entire army. What was supposed to be a standard BTS tour stop just became ground zero for two massive, unprecedented revelations that change everything. What really happened when the music stopped? And are you ready for the truth? Imagine a concert that was supposed to end with cheers, smiles, and beautiful memories. But this time, when the BTS stage lights finally went dark in Baltimore, ARMY's attention shifted to something far more serious. Two unexpected revelations emerged after the concerts at M&T Bank Stadium, and both were connected to the condition of two members who had continued to look professional on stage. What actually happened? Why did this information only become a major concern after BTS completed their two-night concert run in Baltimore? And most importantly, could the signs actually have been visible long before these revelations came to light? Baltimore became one of the important stops on the BTS World Tour, Arirang. BTS performed at M&T Bank Stadium on August 10th and 11th, 2026, as part of their extensive world tour. The official schedule listed Baltimore as one of the cities where BTS would perform for 2 consecutive nights. On stage, all 7 members performed together again following their mandatory military service. For ARMY, those 2 nights were supposed to be a major celebration of BTS' return as a complete group. But after the concerts ended, a story emerged that changed the atmosphere. It wasn't because of a scandal. It wasn't because of a conflict between the members. It was because of their health. And this is where 2 unexpected revelations began attracting attention. Baltimore and the 2 nights ARMY had been waiting for. The Baltimore concerts were more than just another stop on the tour. BTS were scheduled to perform for 2 consecutive nights at M&T Bank Stadium on August 10th and 11th. Information from the organizers and the stadium confirmed the dates as part of the Arirang tour. After traveling through various cities across North America, BTS continued on to Arlington, Texas, on August 15th and 16th. With such a demanding schedule, concerns about the members' stamina naturally grew. And it turned out those concerns were not entirely unfounded. Shortly after the Baltimore concerts ended, a Weverse live stream became especially significant. During the conversation, 2 BTS members spoke about their health conditions. The first was Jungkook. The second was Taehyung. These 2 revelations caused many ARMY to look back at several moments during the tour from a completely different perspective. The first revelation came from Jungkook. Jungkook is known as one of BTS' most physically active performers. So, when information emerged that he was dealing with an issue involving his shin, fans immediately became concerned. According to a report by the San Francisco Chronicle, Jungkook revealed that there was inflammation and possible microdamage in his shin that could potentially develop into a stress fracture. Because of the condition, he had already performed several shows while sitting more often to prevent the injury from becoming more serious. This is an important detail to understand. Jungkook did not say that he had suffered a broken bone. The available information instead described inflammation and possible microdamage that needed attention to prevent it from developing into a more serious injury. In other words, fans' speculation should not be turned into fact. ARMY may have noticed changes in several performances and connected them to Jungkook's leg condition. But only information directly shared by Jungkook himself or confirmed by reliable sources should be treated as fact. And precisely because Jungkook continued performing, some fans only then realized how serious the decision to reduce his physical workload during concerts actually was. He was still on stage. He was still singing. He was still interacting with the other members. But his body clearly needed attention. Then came the second revelation, and it was even more shocking. If the news about Jungkook was already enough to make ARMY worried, the next revelation left many fans completely speechless. Taehyung spoke about an issue affecting his hearing. According to reports citing a Weverse live stream following the Baltimore concerts, Taehyung said that he had experienced significant hearing impairment in his right ear. He connected the issue to his mandatory military service and said that he was currently receiving treatment and making regular visits to the hospital. This was the part that shocked many ARMY. Because on stage, Taehyung still looked exactly like the Taehyung fans knew.
He sang.
He smiled. He joked around. He stood alongside the other 6 members. There was no obvious sign that immediately explained that he was dealing with a hearing problem. And that is precisely what made the revelation feel even more emotional. Many health problems are not always visible from the outside. A person can continue smiling in front of thousands of people while dealing with something that no one else knows about. ARMY began looking back at earlier moments. After information about Jungkook and Taehyung emerged, reactions within the ARMY community began to grow. Some fans started remembering moments during the tour when Jungkook appeared to avoid certain movements or when his physical activity seemed more limited. Others began connecting Taehyung's condition to several earlier moments during the tour. But this is where we need to pause for a moment. Were all of those moments actually signs of their health problems? Not necessarily. Those are fan interpretations, not medical confirmations. Even within ARMY discussions, some fans openly reminded others that the cause of Taehyung's hearing impairment should not be guessed. Several possibilities were discussed by fans, but those discussions are not diagnoses and do not represent an official explanation of Taehyung's condition. The same applies to Jungkook. Seeing him sitting on stage does not automatically mean that his condition was getting worse. In fact, the available information indicates that reducing physical activity could be part of an effort to prevent the injury from becoming more serious. Facts and speculation must be kept separate. This is one of the most important parts of the Baltimore story. The fact is that Jungkook said he was dealing with inflammation and possible microdamage in his shin and needed treatment to prevent the condition from developing into a stress fracture. It is also a fact that Taehyung revealed that he was experiencing hearing impairment in his right ear and said that he was receiving treatment and undergoing medical examinations at a hospital. However, speculation about the exact causes of their conditions, how serious the long-term impact may be, or whether certain moments during earlier concerts were caused by these health issues should not be treated as fact without confirmation. This matters because an artist's health should never become a reason for careless assumptions. And perhaps that is the biggest message behind what happened after Baltimore. The part that left ARMY speechless. Now, let's return to the question we asked at the beginning. Why did the Baltimore concerts end with 2 revelations that were so unexpected? The answer is not that something suddenly happened to BTS on stage. Quite the opposite. Jungkook and Taehyung had apparently been going through a long tour while dealing with their own individual health concerns. Jungkook had to carefully manage his shin condition so that it would not develop into a more serious injury. Meanwhile, Taehyung was receiving treatment related to his hearing impairment. And what made everything even more emotional was the fact that both of them continued to stand in front of ARMY and carry out their responsibilities as performers. BTS have an enormous tour schedule. After Baltimore, they were scheduled to perform in Arlington on August 15th and 16th, followed by Toronto, Chicago, and Los Angeles as part of the North American leg of the tour. That means their journey is far from over. So now, fans' attention is not only focused on how spectacular the next concert will be. It is also about how BTS can complete this tour while continuing to protect the health of all 7 members. It's not about who is the strongest. For years, BTS have been known as a group capable of delivering performances with incredible energy. ARMY are used to seeing them dance, run, sing, joke around, and give everything they have for hours at a time. But the revelations from Baltimore offer a different perspective. Perhaps a performer's strength is not always about forcing themselves to keep moving. Sometimes, strength is shown when someone is brave enough to say, "I need to stop for a moment." In Jungkook's case, reducing his physical activity does not mean that he gave a weaker performance. And in Taehyung's case, speaking openly about his hearing issue does not mean that he became weaker. Instead, the courage to acknowledge such a condition may be something much more human. ARMY are not only looking at 7 superstars. They're also seeing 7 human beings who have physical limits. Baltimore changed the way fans see the Era Ring Tour. The Baltimore concerts may be over, but the conversation surrounding these 2 revelations is still continuing. For many ARMY, this serves as a reminder that behind the massive stage production, choreography, lights, and thousands of light sticks, there are human beings who have to take care of their bodies every single day. And perhaps there is one thing that should never be forgotten. Jungkook and Taehyung did not ask fans to panic. The information they shared instead suggests that they are aware of their respective conditions and are receiving treatment. So rather than spreading rumors about diagnoses or predicting their future, the most reasonable thing to do is offer support and respect their privacy. Because in the end, ARMY certainly want to see BTS continue standing on stage. But more than that, ARMY want to see all 7 members return home healthy. Baltimore left fans with 2 revelations that many never expected. Jungkook, dealing with a shin issue that requires him to be more careful. Taehyung, experiencing hearing impairment in his right ear that is now receiving medical attention. 2 different stories. 2 different conditions. But one message remains the same. Even BTS have limits. And perhaps after learning all of this, the way we look at every step they take on stage will feel slightly different. Because behind every jump, every high note, every smile, and every greeting to ARMY, there may be a struggle that the camera never shows. ARMY, what do you think about these 2 revelations? Did you also only realize now that Jungkook and Taehyung were dealing with their own health issues? Share your thoughts while continuing to respect their conditions and privacy. If you believe this news is important for other ARMY to know, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We will continue following BTS journey and bringing you the latest information based on facts, not rumors. Just after 2 nights filled with energy at M&T Bank Stadium, ARMY's attention began to shift from the performances to the condition of 2 BTS members who openly shared their health concerns. And the timing made many fans even more shocked. Imagine this. On August 10th and 11th, BTS still had to stand on stage in Baltimore. Not long afterward, Jungkook and Taehyung spoke about their respective conditions during a live stream. The media then highlighted those revelations as some of the most surprising moments of their Era Ring World Tour journey. The question now is no longer simply, what happened in Baltimore? It has become, how difficult has the journey behind the stage actually been for them? And the answer to that question makes this story feel far more emotional. Jungkook reveals what happened behind his performance. Jungkook made a revelation that immediately made many fans look back at his performance during the concert. He said that his shin was in a condition approaching a stress fracture. In reports quoting his statement, Jungkook even said that he actually wanted to run and move freely across the Baltimore stage, but the pain prevented him from doing everything he wanted. The statement may sound simple, but for ARMY, it carries significant meaning. Jungkook is a member who has long been known for his physical energy. When he said that the pain forced him to hold himself back, fans naturally began to understand why some parts of his performance looked different. But once again, one important point needs to be clarified. This does not mean that Jungkook suffered a broken bone. The available information indicates inflammation and possible microdamage to the bone that could potentially develop into a stress fracture. Because of this, reducing physical activity is one way to prevent the condition from getting worse. And this is precisely where Jungkook's decision becomes important. He did not push his body beyond its limits just to appear perfect. He adjusted his performance according to his physical condition. Taehyung brings a different story. While Jungkook was dealing with an issue involving a part of his body directly connected to his stage activities, Taehyung was facing something that audiences cannot always see: his hearing. During a live stream after the Baltimore concert, Taehyung revealed that the problem with his right ear had been going on for quite some time. He said that he had undergone treatment and visited the hospital. And this was where many fans were truly left speechless. Because the hearing problem was apparently not something that had only appeared after the Baltimore concert. Taehyung said that the issue had been ongoing for around 2.5 years. That means the problem had been part of his life for a considerable amount of time. Yet throughout that period, he continued performing. He continued singing. He continued standing in front of thousands, even tens of thousands, of fans. And he continued to be the Taehyung that ARMY knows and loves. Naturally, fans became emotional. But once again, it is important to distinguish between what Taehyung actually said and the various conclusions being made on social media. Taehyung himself did not explain the full medical cause of the condition. Therefore, speculation about its exact cause should not be treated as fact. So, what does this have to do with Baltimore? This is where the two revelations become even more interesting. Baltimore was not simply the next concert on BTS's schedule. The city became the point after two members openly spoke about their health conditions. And after that, BTS's journey still did not stop. Arlington was already waiting. BTS was scheduled to perform at M&T Stadium on August 15th and 16th, 2026. The schedule was confirmed by the city of Arlington and various sources related to the tour. That means that just days after Baltimore, BTS would once again have to perform on a massive stage. For ARMY, that fact naturally raised concerns. Would Jungkook perform again while dealing with his physical condition? Would Taehyung still be able to continue the concert schedule while dealing with his hearing issue? And would both members have enough time to rest?